WWDC 25 is less than a month away, and Apple just announced the schedule. And in this video, I'm going to talk about everything you need to know with how the WWDC 25 schedule will take place. Hi, everyone. Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and this is WWDC 25 schedule confirmed, everything you need to know. Now, WWDC 25 is expected to take place on June 9th, 2025, and it will take place at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 1 p.m. Eastern time, or if you are in the Midwest, it could be 12 p.m. Central time, or in the Mountain Time Zone, that can even be 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And at that event, we're going to see iOS 19, iPadOS 19, macOS 16. I don't know what they're calling that version. We're also going to see watchOS 12, visionOS 3, HomePod software 19, and tvOS 19. And we may get some hardware at the event, but that we have to wait and see. Now, the event itself is going to be 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours long, and I will be watching it, but I will not be live streaming it for copyright music. But we can expect the event to be 1 to 2 hours long, and we're going to see all of the new software. Now, after the event, Apple is going to have what they call the Platform State of the Union, where they talk about different softwares. I've never really watched the Platform State of the Union, but that would typically take place at 1 p.m. after the keynote and probably before iOS 19 takes place, before it releases in a beta. Now, earlier, I got a notification from Apple developer talking about iOS 19. WWDC is on the horizon, which means we are getting closer and closer to WWDC. Now, some people are attending in person. I'm not one of those people, but some people are attending the event in person, and they will be able to watch the event in person and see iOS 19. Now, of course, I will do a live stream after the event. I'm just not going to live stream during the event. Now, the softwares we're expected to see is iOS 19, iPadOS 19, macOS 16, HomePod OS 19, tvOS 19, and watchOS 3. And those softwares are expected to get some large improvements. My favorite thing that I'm looking the most forward to is those icons. In iOS 19, it is rumored that we can get circular icons, or maybe even somewhat very rounded icons. See, the icons are squared in iOS. They're very much squared. If you look at them closely, they might be a little bit rounded, but they're mostly squared. This is expected to change to get even more rounded, almost to the point of circular. Now, we can have an option to switch between either square or circular icons in iOS 19. And the way you use your iPhone, some people are saying could be updated. It's expected that when you go into the Apple Sports app here, I've demonstrated this quite a few times. If we go into the Sports app, the way you pull up with animations could be changed. Like, you see how it pulls up from the bottom, then it swipes down as you swipe it off. Then when we pull out or go to the menu, it's sort of a pull-out type of gesture. We can see that all across iOS 19 in apps such as the Settings app, Podcast, Music. Most of Apple's entire software could be fully customizable with circular icons and new animations. Now, it is rumored that the Control Center could get updated, But to be honest with you, I don't know what kind of update they can do to the control center, as the control center pretty much got the update it should have gotten in iOS 11. And with the circular controlled icons and the ability to have multiple pages. So maybe Apple could make the volume slider and brightness slider wider, maybe make the music icons more wider. Maybe instead of having to swipe up and down to access pages, you swipe left to right, just like how it was in iOS 10. So maybe they could be doing that kind of update to the control center in iOS 19. And there's also some updates that we could see within the App Store. Some people call these nutrition labels, but I never really understood what that meant. But if we go into an app here and we go to where it says data link to you, they could heavily upgrade this. We could see accessibility features that exist within that app. It will now show it in this area in iOS 19. Now the tab bar that we have, this is expected to be floating. I'm honestly hoping that Apple brings back the floating tab bar that was initially in iOS 15 early betas. I don't know that they will, but with all the leaks and rumors that we're getting that saying that the tab bar across Apple's entire ecosystem could be floating, it's possible that we could see a floating tab bar in iOS 19. We can see a large upgrade or massive redesign to that tab bar. Now the magnifier app, this is another accessibility feature, and it's rumored that this will be coming to macOS. We can see the tab bar in iOS, or the magnifier app rather, in iOS 19 officially be available on Mac. Now that might work via continuity camera, so you will need to have an iPhone to use the magnifier app. I don't know if continuity camera works on iPad. I haven't done research on that. If it does, leave a comment on this video. But you will need to have an iPhone in order to use the magnifier app in macOS 16 via continuity camera. And it's also rumored that vehicle motion cues is coming to macOS 16 as well. I tried turning this on while screen recording, and for some reason, it shows up for me while I'm screen recording, but you guys will not be able to see it. But it is rumored that we could see vehicle motion cues come to the Mac as well. Now, there is features coming to the iPad I want to mention as well. Now, with iPadOS 19, it's rumored that when you plug the iPad into an external monitor or hook up a keyboard, maybe say a Magic Keyboard, your iPad will transform into a Mac. Now, I edit my videos on my iPad. I've been using CapCut for, I would say, about 2 months, and it's been working just fine. Now, the iPad I use, this is not an iPad Pro, it's an iPad Air 4th generation, and it will be able to get iPadOS 19, and I won't be installing the beta, but I will install the public release. But if you have the iPad Pro or the new iPad Air, the one with the M1 chip or newer, the M1 iPad Pro or newer, or maybe the iPad Pro from 2020 or maybe 2018, you plug it into an external monitor or hook up a keyboard, it will turn it into a Mac. Now, most of the features will work on the M series iPads, but you will get some macOS-like interface features where your app dock will be able to have more apps, window-viewed multitasking such as Stage Manager, a whole bunch of features that you will see, including the redesigned icons. Now, those nutrition labels, as people call them, where if you go to an app and you see things like data link to you. I think that's coming to iPad. I'm not entirely sure, but it is definitely coming to iPhone where it shows the accessibility features within that app. I don't know why they call it nutrition labels, but that's the name that Apple called it. Now, as far as what else we can see at the event, well, iOS 19 is what I'm looking most forward to, and iPadOS 19. But we can also see watchOS 12, which is going to get some updates, maybe some more icon changes. I'm hoping they bring the dedicated YouTube app to the Apple Watch. They did have an app called WatchTube. It didn't last very long, I don't think. I don't know if it's still there. If you are using an Apple Watch and you are able to access WatchTube, comment that in this video, as I don't have an Apple Watch, so I'm not even able to tell that. But hopefully they bring that to the Apple Watch in watchOS 12. We're also expected to get visionOS 3, which is supposed to bring enhancements and updates, maybe more icons, and hopefully the YouTube app, if it's not there already, to the Apple Vision Pro, along with macOS 16, which will carry over some of those circular icons and bring in the magnifier app via continuity camera. And we're also going to get tvOS 19, which will bring updates to the Apple TV, as well as HomePodOS 19. Now, there's some other features where for AirPods, you will have features. We could have EQ settings, updates, and background sounds for AirPods as well in the latest iOS 19 beta. So those are all of the softwares being announced: iOS 19, iPadOS 19, watchOS 3, or watchOS 12 rather, visionOS 3, macOS 16, HomePod software 19, and tvOS 19. That will be announced at WWDC 2025. Comment down below which software you're looking most forward to. Now, as far as when to expect the releases of the betas of those softwares, well, WWDC 25 will take place on June 9th, and it will be at 12 p.m. Central Time if you're in the Midwest, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, or 10 a.m. Pacific Time. It will be 2 hours long, and after that, they will have the platform State of the Union, where you will get to see the software in person, and you get to develop your apps and much more things. Now, as far as if I will be installing the beta, I say this in a lot of videos, that depends on if I upgrade this iPhone, allowing me to keep this iPhone while having another device that will run on a stable version of iOS, because we all know iOS as a beta will be very, very unstable, and iOS 19 is no exception. So if you are planning on installing iOS 19, I will give you a word of caution. Don't install iOS 19 if the two things you don't have: a computer or another device to put it on. I am not going to install iOS 19 if I have just my iPhone 12 and my iPad Air. I will only install the update if I have two iPhones, one for beta testing, which will be the 12, and a newer device to stay on a stable version of software, as iOS 19 will be filled with lots of bugs. And if you need to downgrade, you typically can via using a computer. And I'll do a video showing you how to prepare to update on June 8th, which is one day before the event takes place on June 9th. Now, as far as anything else, that's it regarding the schedule for WWDC 25 and all the softwares we get to see there. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also make sure you guys follow me on TikTok, as I have a TikTok channel as well. My name is Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.